Let's lay it out straight. In the world of long-range shooting, there's no such thing as the best caliber without asking the question, best for what? Is it for hitting steel at 1,000 yards, hunting elk beyond 500, cutting wind on a PRS course with tight margins? Each task demands the right tool, and in this arena, that tool begins with your cartridge. Now here's the silver lining. As we roll into 2025, rifle shooters are truly in a golden age of long-range ballistics. We've got more factory options, smarter powder blends, cleaner brass, and better bullet design than we've ever seen. Whether you're using a bolt gun, building an AR for distance, or configuring a custom rig, you've got substantial choices out there. That's why today we're not ranking anything. We're just keeping it real. What follows is a straightforward breakdown of the long-range calibers we've actually tested on steel, on game, on paper, across multiple rifles, various distances, and in real-world conditions. Some of these are legends, others are newer contenders, and a few might just take you by surprise, but every one of them has rightfully earned its spot on the long-range map for 2025. Let's jump in. Heavy-hitting Magnum calibers for distant reaches. The .338 Lapua Magnum. If any cartridge screams serious long range, it's this one. Originally designed back in the 1980s for military sniping, the .338 Lapua Magnum remains the choice for engagements beyond a mile. It's crafted for precision and power from the ground up, typically firing 250-grain projectiles at over 2,900 feet per second, generating more than 4,700 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. But its claim to fame isn't just raw power. It's how well it holds that punch down range. At 500 yards, you're still looking at energy figures between 2,800 and just under 3,000 foot-pounds, depending on your load. That's more than enough for North American big game, and it's pushing into heavy-duty territory. Its long, high BC projectiles cut through the wind with moderate drop for its class, usually 38 to 48 inches at 500 yards when zeroed at 100. However, it sure doesn't come cheap. Ammo's costly barrel life is fleeting, and both recoil and report are notable. This round isn't for casual weekends or general use. It excels in purpose-built bolt-action rifles with 26-inch or longer barrels, paired with precision optics and experienced shooters. If you're aiming beyond 1,000 yards and need to hit hard consistently, with no questions asked, this is the tool. But for many shooters, it's more than they'll ever require. Moving on to the 300 Win Mag, few cartridges have the legacy of the 300 Winchester Magnum. Introduced back in 1963, it's long been a benchmark for long-range hunters, military snipers, and competitive shooters alike. It delivers great velocity and retained energy with a flatter trajectory than traditional .30 caliber rounds like the .306 with 180 to 200 grain bullets. Typical muzzle velocities run between 2,900 and 3,000 feet per second. That translates into about 1,900 foot-pounds of energy at 500 yards, with drop figures hovering between 40 to 50 inches, depending on your zero and bullet choice. Its real strength lies in versatility. There are endless factory load options, from lightweight 150-grain hunting rounds to match-grade loads with sleek high BC projectiles. Reloading data is plentiful, and every major bolt-action platform has a variant in 300 Winchester Magnum, including Remington 700, Ruger American Long Range, and Savage 110. But with performance comes recoil. This round typically produces 30-plus foot-pounds of kick in a standard hunting rifle, which can quickly tire new shooters or anyone without a brake or good recoil pad. It isn't punishing for a shot or two, but it's no 6.5 Creedmoor either. Bottom line, if you need reliable long-range power in a cartridge you can find anywhere, the 300 Winchester Magnum is a true workhorse still standing strong in 2025. Now the 6.5 300 Weatherby Magnum. If the Creedmoor is a scalpel, this one's more of a guided missile. It's built for speed, raw, blistering, and uncompromising speed. This belted Magnum sends 156-grain bullets at muzzle velocities over 3,500 feet per second, with energy exceeding 3,200 foot-pounds at the muzzle. Even at 500 yards, it's still delivering over 1,500 foot-pounds, more than enough for elk, moose, and more. Its trajectory is laser flat. Sighted 3 inches high at 100 yards, you're spot on at 300 and still within a couple of inches of point of aim out to 400. That's the kind of error margin that makes it deadly for long-range hunters, especially out west, where terrain is uneven and distances are often unverified. Weatherby chambers this cartridge in their Mark V and Vanguard rifles, with factory loads ranging from 127 to 156 grains. Though recoil is significant, it's actually lighter than many 300 Magnum options thanks to Weatherby's stock design and muzzle brake setup. The biggest drawback is cost. Ammo is pricey, rifles aren't cheap, and the barrel life is relatively short due to high-velocity throat erosion. In my book, this cartridge isn't for everyone, but if you crave point-and-shoot performance at 500 to 600 yards and you're ready to invest in a rifle to match, this round stands on its own. Precision match and competition loads? Let's talk about the 6mm Dasher. In precision rifle competition, consistency reigns, and the 6mm Dasher has sat on that throne for years. Originally born from the 6mm BR case, the Dasher exists for one purpose: to put rounds through the same hole at long range time and again. It delivers on that mission. You often find match shooters pushing 105 to 110 grain bullets at muzzle velocities in the 2,900 feet per second range. The impressive part: how steady those numbers remain. With well-tuned hand loads, the Dasher consistently holds single-digit standard deviation and extreme spread, making wind calls and trajectory calculations far more predictable at 600, 800, and even 1,000 yards. It also comes in surprisingly soft. The recoil is minimal, a favorite among PRS shooters who need to spot their own impacts and stay quick between shots. The downside: it's a short, steep-shouldered case, which means magazine-fed bolt-action rifles may need some tweaking for reliable feeding. It's also primarily a hand-loader's cartridge, with limited factory options compared to the 6mm Creedmoor or the 6mm GT. However, if you're serious about performance and willing to roll your own, the Dasher is hard to beat. It's not flashy, it just wins. My verdict? This round isn't for your average range goer, but for competitive shooters who live by their dope chart. The 6mm Dasher is pure precision. Then there's the 224 Valkyrie. Designed as a high-efficiency option for the AR platform, the 224 Valkyrie aimed to do what many thought unreachable: achieve 1,000-yard supersonic flight with a small frame cartridge. It mostly hit the mark. With 70 to 80 grain high BC bullets, this round hits velocities just over 2,700 feet per second in a 24-inch barrel. It stays supersonic well past 1,000 yards and carries surprisingly good energy for its bore size. Compared to 5.56 NATO, it offers a big jump in retained velocity and wind resistance at a distance. That's appealing to PRS gas gun shooters and long-range AR builders due to its low recoil and soft impulse. You can shoot this all day without wearing yourself out, making it perfect for training or matches where recoil management is key, but it has its quirks. Some early models had barrel twist issues unsuited for stabilizing heavier bullets. Factory ammo availability is still limited, and finding bolt guns chambered in 224 is tougher than it ought to be. But things are shifting. Companies are trickling out more platforms, and knowledgeable reloaders are drawing real value from it. The bottom line: the Valkyrie is still establishing its ground, but in the right rifle, it's a pinpoint beam with grace. And for AR shooters wanting to extend beyond the standard 500-yard limit, it's a sharp choice. Let's turn to practical all-around calibers for hunters and shooters. The 6.5 Creedmoor. Some may love it, others might not. But the 6.5 Creedmoor is here for the long haul. And there's a reason for that. Introduced in the mid-2000s by Hornady and Creedmoor Sports, this cartridge was crafted specially for long-range target shooting, which coincidentally works superbly for hunting as well. What makes it unique is the balance: recoil, ballistic performance, and availability. Fire a 140 grain high BC bullet at around 2,700 feet per second, and you get low wind drift and solid velocity retention past 1,000 yards. The neck design and chamber geometry maintain consistent pressure, translating to impressive accuracy, even in factory rifles. Where it excels is in recoil management. Compared to a .308 Winchester or any Magnum, it's gentle, allowing you to stay on target, spot hits, and send multiple rounds downrange without wearing you out. That's why it has become the go-to cartridge for both new long-range shooters and seasoned hunters alike. Fair enough, some critics argue it's overhyped and that older cartridges can compete or outrun it ballistically. Theoretically, that might hold water. But in practice, the 6.5 Creedmoor is just easier to shoot well, easy on ammo acquisition, and backed by every major maker in both guns and loads. My take is, if you're new to long-range shooting, or you want a versatile cartridge that won't strain your shoulder, the 6.5 Creedmoor remains the smartest start. Next up, the 7mm Remington Magnum. This round doesn't often get the shine it deserves, yet among veteran hunters, the 7mm Remington Magnum remains a favorite that's withstood the test of time. Released in 1962, it fueled America's passion for Magnum performance in a standard long-action rifle. Ballistically, it navigates the gap between 6.5 and .30 caliber. Shooting 160 to 175 grain bullets around 2,900 feet per second, the trajectory is flatter than .3006 with a harder impact than 6.5 Creedmoor. It's ideal for game from whitetail up to elk and moose, especially when the range stretches past 400 yards. The 7mm bullets pack high sectional density and impressive ballistic coefficients, helping maintain energy and cut through the wind, suiting the Rockies or western expanses. Recoil can be felt, but is manageable, with many factory rifles equipped with superior recoil pads that make the experience pleasant. One standout perk: availability. You'll see this chambered in loads of factory rifles, and nearly every ammo brand offers at least a couple loads suited for different hunting situations. If you're hunting with one rifle that swings between tree stands in the east to mountain pursuits out west, the 7mm Rem could be the most underrated all-rounder you could find. And then we've got the .308 Winchester. Old-fashioned? Perhaps. Outdated? Not so fast. The .308 Winchester has been part of the scene since the 1950s, yet it's still holding its own in 2025. Originally derived from the .3006, it offers robust long-range performance in a compact package with less recoil and solid barrel life. With 168 or 175 grain bullets, you're looking at muzzle velocities between 2,600 and 2,700 feet per second. It stays supersonic out to 1,200 yards, though it starts losing the edge in wind drift and drop against the newer, sleeker cartridges. So why does it remain relevant? Because it just functions flawlessly. Every major bolt-action rifle maker builds a .308 Winchester variant. Every ammo shelf stocks it. Whether you're hunting, training, running suppressed, or introducing someone to shooting, the .308 provides reliable accuracy, predictable performance, and zero surprises. It's been a success story among law enforcement, military, hunters, match shooters, and it's been tried and true for decades. It might not share the glam, but it's dependable, affordable, and lethal when placed just right. Bottom line, if I had to choose a long-range rifle for any kind of situation that just works, I'd take a good .308 bolt action and never look back. Now onto the versatile Magnum with match precision, the .28 Nosler. The .28 Nosler isn't just another speedy Magnum. It's a finely crafted cartridge that merges long-range trajectory with hunting-grade stopping power in one of the most balanced setups available today. Based on a shortened .404 Jeffrey case, it fires 175 grain AccuBond long-range bullets at speeds over 3,100 feet per second. Muzzle energy passes 3,700 foot-pounds and holds above 2,000 foot-pounds at 600 yards. Yet it's not just raw force. The .28 Nosler shoots nice and flat. When set up correctly, you're barely 5 inches low at 300 yards, simplifying mid-range shot calls. Whether you're spanning canyons or reaching beyond 700 yards on elk, this round offers range without needing an arm-length guess chart. Where it really catches folks off guard is how manageable it is. Despite its Magnum class, recoil is tough, but not unbearable. Experienced shooters won't find themselves rattled, and blast levels aren't up there with Weatherby's standards. Pair that with Nosler's standout brass, growing rifle support, and high BC bullet options, and you've got a long-range system that effortlessly bridges hunting and target needs with confidence. If you're hunting in areas where wind calls can't falter, or you require lethal force beyond 500 yards without the recoil of a .338 Lapua, this could well be the most practical Magnum available. That wraps up our in-depth look into the long-range calibers we've put through their paces. Whether you're hitting steel beyond 1,000 yards, adjusting for wind on a PRS course, or pursuing elk out west, every round we've discussed has its purpose. It's about mission fit, true performance, and working things out in the real world. If you found this breakdown useful, like and subscribe for more field-tested content from Firearms Zone. Got your own favorite caliber? Share it in the comments. We read every single one. This is Firearms Zone. Keep sharp, shoot straight, and catch you on the range.